Today, astronomers have discovered thousands of planets beyond our solar system, and some of them are so bizarre that they almost seem impossible. Imagine a planet where it rains molten glass sideways at over 5,000 miles per hour, a world made mostly of diamonds, a planet darker than coal that reflects almost no light, or a giant world so fluffy it could float in an enormous ocean if one existed. These incredible places challenge everything we thought we knew about how planets form and survive. In the next few minutes, we'll travel across the galaxy to explore some of the most impossible planets ever discovered, uncovering the strange science that makes each one unique. Let's begin with one of the hottest worlds ever found. Meet KLT-9b, a gas giant orbiting so close to its star that its daytime temperature reaches over 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, hotter than the surface of many stars. At these extreme temperatures, molecules are ripped apart into individual atoms, and metals like iron and titanium exist as vapor in the atmosphere. Scientists believe that when these metal vapors drift to the cooler night side of the planet, they condense into metallic clouds before being blown back into the blazing daylight, creating an endless cycle unlike anything in our solar system. If a spacecraft somehow survived long enough to approach KLT-9b, it would witness glowing skies filled with ionized gases and winds traveling thousands of miles per hour before being destroyed by the unimaginable heat. Next comes HD 189733b, one of the most famous exoplanets ever discovered. At first glance, it appears to be a beautiful deep blue world, almost like Earth seen from space. But don't let its color fool you. This planet is one of the deadliest places imaginable. Instead of water clouds, its atmosphere contains tiny particles of molten glass, and powerful winds reaching over 5,000 miles per hour whip those glass particles sideways across the planet. Imagine standing in a hurricane where every raindrop is a razor-sharp piece of burning glass traveling faster than a fighter jet. No life as we know it could survive even for a second. Another impossible world is 55 Cancri, often called the Diamond Planet. This super-Earth is believed to contain enormous amounts of carbon under tremendous pressure, potentially forming vast layers of diamond beneath its surface. Although newer studies suggest the planet's composition may be more complex than originally thought, scientists still believe carbon-rich minerals could dominate much of its interior. Surface temperatures exceed 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt many rocks into glowing lava. Parts of the surface may even contain oceans of molten rock that shimmer beneath a sky filled with scorching gases. Imagine an entire world where priceless gemstones exist in unimaginable quantities, yet the environment is so extreme that no one could ever collect them. Then there is Trace 2b, officially one of the darkest planets ever discovered. It reflects less than 1% of the light that reaches it, making it darker than fresh black paint or charcoal. Scientists believe its atmosphere absorbs nearly all incoming starlight due to exotic chemicals and the absence of reflective clouds. Despite being almost completely black, the planet is incredibly hot, glowing faintly red from its own heat like a dying ember hidden in darkness. If you floated nearby, you would barely see the planet against the blackness of space except for a dim crimson glow outlining its silhouette. One of the strangest discoveries is WASP-107b, a giant planet nearly the size of Jupiter but with only a fraction of its mass. Its density is so incredibly low that people often describe it as a planet that could float on water, assuming a large enough ocean existed. Of course, Such an ocean could never exist naturally, but the comparison shows just how unbelievably light the planet is. Scientists think its atmosphere is stretched into an enormous puffy envelope extending tens of thousands of miles into space, making it more like a giant balloon than a traditional planet. Nearby radiation slowly strips away this atmosphere over time, leaving behind a spectacular trail of escaping gas. Another bizarre world is PSRB 1620-26b, nicknamed the Methuselah planet because it is estimated to be around 12.7 billion years old. That means this ancient planet formed when the universe itself was still very young. While Earth is only about 4.5 billion years old, Methuselah has existed for nearly 3 times as long. It orbits not one but 2 dead stars, a white dwarf and a pulsar, creating one of the most unusual planetary systems ever discovered. Imagine standing on a moon around this ancient world and watching the remains of exploded stars illuminate the ancient darkness of space. Even stranger is TOI 849b, a mysterious planet that appears to be the exposed core of a giant gas planet. Scientists think it may once have resembled Jupiter, wrapped in thick layers of hydrogen and helium. Over millions or billions of years, powerful radiation from its nearby star stripped away almost all of its atmosphere, leaving behind only its massive rocky core. It's like finding the skeleton of a giant after everything else has vanished. This rare discovery gives astronomers a unique glimpse into what normally lies hidden deep inside gas giants. Equally fascinating is Kepler-16b, famously known as the real-life Tatooine because it orbits 2 stars instead of 1. Just like the fictional planet from Star Wars, anyone standing on a moon orbiting this world would witness twin sunsets almost every day. The changing positions of the 2 suns create constantly shifting shadows and dramatic skies unlike anything experienced on Earth. The planet itself is a gas giant, but the view from any nearby moon would be unforgettable. Then comes HD 106906b, a giant planet orbiting its star at an astonishing distance of more than 460 billion miles. For comparison, Neptune orbits our Sun at only about 2.8 billion miles. This lonely world takes around 15,000 Earth years to complete a single orbit. Its enormous distance raises questions about how it formed, since traditional models struggle to explain planets existing so far from their stars. Some scientists believe it may have been thrown outward by gravitational interactions early in its history. Equally mind-bending is Kepler-70b, one of the closest orbiting planets ever discovered. It circles its dying star in only about 5.5 hours. That means a year on this planet lasts less than a typical workday on Earth. The intense radiation constantly bombards the planet, making survival impossible while slowly eroding its surface. Finally, we arrive at rogue planets, perhaps the most mysterious worlds of all. Unlike every planet in our solar system, rogue planets don't orbit any star. Instead, they drift alone through the freezing darkness of interstellar space. Many were likely ejected from their original solar systems during violent gravitational encounters billions of years ago. Without sunlight, their surfaces become unimaginably cold, but some scientists believe internal heat trapped beneath thick layers of ice could keep hidden underground oceans liquid for billions of years. If that's true, these lonely wandering worlds might still possess environments where microbial life could exist, even in complete darkness. The universe continues to surprise us with discoveries that seem more like science fiction than reality. From planets where metal rains from the sky to worlds older than almost everything around them, from floating giants and diamond interiors to eternal darkness and twin sunsets. These impossible planets remind us that nature's imagination is far greater than our own. Every new telescope reveals even stranger worlds waiting to be understood, proving that our solar system is only one tiny example among countless extraordinary planetary systems scattered across the Milky Way. As technology advances and future missions search deeper into space, we may discover planets even more unbelievable than these. Worlds with oceans of lava stretching to the horizon, atmospheres glowing with exotic chemicals, or environments unlike anything we've ever imagined. One thing is certain: the universe is far stranger, more mysterious, and infinitely more fascinating than we ever expected. Beyond these already astonishing worlds, astronomers continue to uncover planets that push the limits of physics and imagination. Consider WASP-76b, a scorching gas giant located hundreds of light-years away. On its permanent day side, temperatures climb above 4,300 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to vaporize iron into the atmosphere. Powerful winds then carry this iron vapor toward the cooler night side, where it condenses into liquid droplets before falling as iron rain. Imagine looking into the sky and watching molten metal fall from dark clouds instead of water. This bizarre weather cycle is unlike anything found anywhere in our solar system and proves that weather on alien planets can be far stranger than anything on Earth. Another extraordinary world is GJ1214b, often called the water world. Scientists believe a significant portion of its mass could consist of water, but not in the form we know. Under crushing pressures deep beneath its atmosphere, water may exist as exotic forms of superheated steam, supercritical fluid, or even high-pressure ice that remains solid despite temperatures hot enough to melt ordinary rock. Instead of continents and oceans, this planet may contain endless layers of strange water compressed into forms impossible on Earth. Then there is Kepler-10b, one of the first confirmed rocky exoplanets ever discovered. It orbits so close to its star that one side may be covered by a vast ocean of molten lava stretching across the horizon. Temperatures soar beyond 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit, while rivers of liquid rock slowly flow beneath a glowing orange sky. If mountains exist there, they would gradually melt and reform over geological time, making the landscape constantly change. Another impossible place is Koros 7b, another lava world where the contrast between day and night is extreme. One side permanently faces its star while the opposite side remains locked in endless darkness. Scientists think vaporized rock from the scorching day side may drift toward the cooler night side before condensing into tiny rocky particles, creating something that could be described as stone rain. Instead of the familiar water cycle on Earth, this alien planet may experience an entire weather system built from rock itself. Equally strange is HATP-7b, where astronomers detected shifting cloud formations made of exotic minerals such as corundum, the same mineral that forms rubies and sapphires on Earth. These glowing mineral clouds race around the planet at incredible speeds, driven by violent atmospheric winds. Although actual gemstones would not fall from the sky, the chemistry involved shows that planets can produce weather based on minerals that are rare and precious here on Earth. Another mysterious world is LHS 3844b, a rocky planet that appears to have almost no atmosphere at all. Constant radiation from its nearby red dwarf star likely stripped away every trace of gas over billions of years, leaving behind a barren landscape exposed directly to space. Daytime temperatures become blisteringly hot while nighttime temperatures plunge hundreds of degrees below freezing because there is no atmosphere to distribute heat. This dramatic contrast creates one of the harshest environments ever observed. Even more puzzling is HIPS 65426b, a giant young planet that astronomers photographed directly instead of discovering through indirect methods. Because it is still relatively young, the planet glows brightly with leftover heat from its formation, making it resemble a small ember floating through space. Seeing an actual image of another planet rather than merely detecting its presence marks one of astronomy's greatest achievements, and opens the door to studying alien worlds in unprecedented detail. Another impossible object blurs the line between planet and star. CFBDSIR 2149-0403 appears to wander through space without orbiting any star at all. Scientists are still debating whether it is an unusually massive rogue planet, or a very small failed star known as a brown dwarf. Either way, it demonstrates that nature doesn't always fit neatly into categories. Some objects exist in the gray area between planets and stars, challenging the definitions astronomers have relied on for decades. Then there is HD 80606b, famous for having one of the most extreme orbits ever discovered. Instead of traveling in a nearly circular path like Earth, this planet follows a highly elongated orbit that carries it from relatively cool regions into an intense close encounter with its star. During this brief passage, temperatures skyrocket by more than 1,000 degrees within hours, causing violent storms and shock waves across the atmosphere before the planet races back into colder space. It experiences seasons so dramatic they make Earth's climate seem perfectly stable. One of the most fascinating discoveries is Kepler 452b, often nicknamed Earth's older cousin. Although scientists still don't know whether it truly resembles Earth, it orbits within the habitable zone of its star where temperatures might allow liquid water to exist. If life ever developed there, it would have had billions of additional years to evolve beyond the age of life on Earth. While this remains speculation, the possibility reminds us that the galaxy may contain worlds where evolution has had far more time to unfold than on our own planet. Another remarkable candidate is Proxima Centauri b, orbiting the closest star to our solar system. Despite being only a little over 4 light-years away, reaching it with today's spacecraft would still require tens of thousands of years. The planet lies within the habitable zone, but frequent stellar flares from its active red dwarf star constantly bombard it with radiation. Whether an atmosphere could survive under these conditions remains one of the biggest unanswered questions in planetary science. As telescopes become more powerful, astronomers hope to analyze its atmosphere directly in search of oxygen, methane, or other possible signs of life. Then there is TOI 700d, another intriguing world located within its star's habitable zone. Unlike many giant gas planets, this one appears to be rocky and roughly Earth-sized, making it an important target for future observations. Scientists are eager to determine whether clouds, oceans, or even simple forms of life could exist there. Although we don't yet have definitive answers, every new observation brings us closer to understanding whether Earth is truly unique, or simply one example among countless living worlds throughout the Milky Way. Looking even farther ahead, future observatories such as the next generation of giant space telescopes will allow scientists to study alien atmospheres in extraordinary detail. Instead of merely detecting planets, astronomers may identify weather systems, seasonal changes, cloud layers, surface temperatures, and even chemical fingerprints associated with biological activity. We could one day discover unmistakable evidence of oceans, forests, or perhaps ecosystems completely unlike anything found on Earth. Every impossible planet discovered so far reminds us that the universe refuses to follow our expectations. Worlds where iron rains from crimson skies, planets wrapped in gemstone clouds, ancient survivors older than most stars, frozen wanderers drifting endlessly through interstellar darkness, lava oceans glowing beneath black skies, and giant planets lighter than anyone imagined all demonstrate the incredible diversity of nature. Each discovery forces scientists to rewrite textbooks, refine theories, and ask even deeper questions about how planets form, evolve, and sometimes defy every prediction. The greatest lesson from these impossible planets is not simply that strange worlds exist, but that our imagination has repeatedly underestimated reality. Every time astronomers believe they have seen the most unusual planet imaginable, the universe reveals another even stranger discovery waiting beyond the reach of the last telescope. Somewhere among the hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy, and the trillions of galaxies scattered across the observable universe, there are almost certainly planets more bizarre than any we have described today. Some may have skies glowing green from unfamiliar gases, oceans composed of substances unknown on Earth, mountains taller than anything our planet could support, or environments governed by physical conditions we have yet to observe. As humanity continues exploring the cosmos, these impossible planets serve as powerful reminders that we have only just begun to understand the astonishing variety of worlds that exist beyond our own tiny corner of the universe, and the next great discovery could completely transform everything we think we know about planets, life, and our place among the stars.